Hi, I'm the Anime Wizard. And with it getting to be 2020, it's the end of the decade, and anime has gone through a pretty, what they call it, a golden age of anime for the past decade. And I have to agree, like, there's been so many good animes that have come out in this past decade alone. So I figured, why not? I was going to talk about my top 11 anime of the decade. Now, why 11, you may ask? Well, I decided to feel special. Oh boy, this should be fun. Now, if anyone gets offended by my list, just know this is entirely my opinion. If you have a different, set of animes that you prefer better, that's on you. So, let's get started. At number 11, you have Seven Deadly Sins. Now, what to say about Seven Deadly Sins? Seven Deadly Sins is a great anime, like, in total. Like, I really do love this anime. Like, it's such a great one. And you're first introduced with this with Elizabeth trying to find the Seven Deadly Sins, and she runs into Meliodas, who she doesn't know at the time. And then when it's revealed that he's like the strongest of the sins, he like completely just starts obliterating people. And as they're collecting all the other seven sins and they're getting them back together, the plot thickens. And all the sins are just great, amazing characters. I love them all. They're all awesome, except, Iskandar is like the best guy, along with Bond and all of them. But yeah, it's overall still a really good anime. Number 10, you have Wolf Children. Now, Wolf Children hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting it to, because essentially the plot is you have a mother who's taking care of two children who both turn into wolves, and because the father's dead, she has to do it by herself. And this, really does hit me, from personal experiences and everything, it hits me like that. But just seeing her coping with the fact that her children are normal and trying to figure out ways to help her children out is a really touching story. In fact, this entire movie is really great. And watching the kids growing up with their own identities and coming to terms with whether they want to be a human or a wolf is really amazing to see. Number 9, the Yu-Gi-Oh movie. Now, the Yu-Gi-Oh movie kind of came out of nowhere because I was not expecting this at all. And this movie just hit all of my nostalgia feels. I mean, it's a good movie on its own, but the fact that it brings back the original cast, the original voice actors for said cast, just hit all of my kid feeling and made me feel like a little kid watching Yu-Gi-Oh again. Now, I like how the entire movie is about everyone getting on with their lives and, graduating school and everything, and then, accepting the fact that the Pharaoh's not going to come back. And for the most part, it really does keep to that. Like, it gives you the idea that the Pharaoh's never going to come back, and they have to get used to that. The only one who's virulently still trying to find the Pharaoh is, Kaiba. Kaiba's still obsessed with him after all these years. I will say that one really awesome moment from this movie was at the very end. At the very end, when it looked like all hope was lost, and then the Pharaoh comes back at the very end and has that really awesome, badass music that plays with the original transformation, and he comes back and ends it with one turn. Like, everyone was all excited and happy for that moment. Number 8, Digimon Adventure Tri. Now, Digimon Adventure Tri brought back all the original voice casts, well, most of the original voice casts for the original Digimon crew, and it really did bring back a lot of memories. Like Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's about them trying to find their way, but they're also trying to save the world. And it's broken up into 8 movies that are all really great. Man, that's been a lot of nostalgia hitting for this decade. Number 7, Vinland Saga. Now, when I first saw Vinland Saga, I was completely blown away by it because it was just it reminded me of those old mythologies I used to read, about the Scandinavians and Norse mythologies, and it just had that entire feel throughout the entire, from what most of it's been going on. And it's really good. It really catches you. Definitely is an amazing anime that's came out recently, and it's really good, but no one is really paying much attention to it, which is kind of sad. Number 6, Katana Monogatari. Now, this is a heavily heavily underappreciated anime. But the anime itself is really good. Like, you have a lot of awesome fight scenes. You have really good characters. The main character's entire style is about breaking swords, and you see that used against the world of swords when they have to try and track down these mystical swords. And it's overall really good. The fights are good. There's really touching moments, and it's just overall really good anime. Number 5, Konosuba. Oh, Konosuba is an hilarious anime that makes me laugh every time I watch it. It is amazing in every way. It is an isekai, and it's about, Saito Kazuma. If anyone doesn't know Kazuma, it's about him being sent to a magical world with a bunch of useless people, but some of them aren't really useless. But it's about him having to deal with the fact that he doesn't have much. And it's just overall funny and hilarious. There really hasn't been much anime that's made me drop on the ground laughing my ass off at how funny it is. Before you ask, I have to say, best girls are Wiz and Darkness, especially Darkness. Number 4, High School DxD. Now, High School DxD is such a great anime because, its entire setting is interesting. Like, it takes all the mythologies and combines them into one universe as factions, which I find really cool. The other really cool thing is it brings in, devils and all that, and, the main character is really pervy, but they use his pervertiness as actual power, and how is he getting more abilities because of it, which is really good. And this overall series is, amazing. I love every second of it. And while I like the original, animation styles of the first 3 seasons, the 4 seasons new animation style isn't too bad, and I've gotten used to it, and it's overall really good. Number 3, Magi. Now, Magi is easily a god-tier anime. It is really one of the best ones I've seen. And it really hits every note possible. It has comedy, it has dramaticnism, it has action, all that, and it mixes it in. Gives you these certain abilities, and it overall is really interesting. Now, I'm also including Sinbad into this because Sinbad and Magi are all tied into the same universe, so I count it all as one anime. Because if I had to break it up into multiple animes, then my list would be even harder to choose from. But after watching Sinbad, I'm just why is Alibaba the main character, not Sinbad? Sinbad's way more badass than Alibaba. He's essentially, a better version of Alibaba. If anything, Alibaba's like Sinbad light. Number 2, Campione. Now, Campione is a very, very good anime. I'm saying all these are good, but this one's really good too. Because it takes the mythology aspect, which I really like. And, it takes all the mythologies and merges them into one. But there's one slight difference, though. Is that certain mythologies, the gods are tied together because their mythologies are so similar. However, the main character, becomes a god slayer because you can kill gods in this universe and become a Campione. Overall, this anime is really good. I like the mythology aspect of it, and I like his ability. The main character's abilities, Kusanagi Godo. His abilities are awesome, and he uses them really effectively. And the anime is really good. This should be no shock to anyone, but it's obviously Sword Art Online. Yes, Sword Art Online is easily the greatest anime of the past decade. Who couldn't worship such magnificence of Kirito? No, I'm just joking. Get wrecked, Kirito. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Now, don't get me wrong. Sword Art Online is a good anime, but it's just not the top anime of the decade for me. No, easily the top anime of the decade is the entire Fate series that has come out. The entire Fate series is number 1 in my book. And the reason why? Because it takes my history aspect. I like history and mythology and all that. I'm really a history buff. And it takes all these historical characters and turns them into servants to fight in a Holy Grail War. And, I really like it. I like the concept. I like the characters. Each different Fate series is its own thing, but I count it all as one because it's kind of in this Fate-verse. And all this, different Fates have all unique things, and they're all interesting and cool, and I really love the Fate series. It's an amazing series to get into. However, I will say one thing, and it's very controversial. I'll say it anyway. Dean's Unlimited Blade Works had better animation. Yes, I know. Ufotable is the god of animations, but to me, the Unlimited Blade Works in that one just kind of felt, CGI'd, and I got used to it, but the one in Dean actually felt it from the actual visual novel. You feel it, you sense it, and everything, and I just overall prefer the Deans over Ufotables. But that's my top 11 anime of the decade. If you have a top 11 anime of the decade, let me know. If you disagree with me and wish I just burned, then that's up to you. I hope you all have a great next year, and, have fun.